You've heard about it, you may not know everything about it, but you need to listen because there's certain criteria you have to meet, but not only the criteria, there's an application process, and there's a lot of stuff that goes with it. We want you taking as much dual enrollment as you can because it's free if you qualify and fill out the TSAC grant. So first, Ms. Hicks is going to speak at all of our meetings. That's your point of contact, is Ms. Hicks. So if you've only heard of her and you don't know who she is, she's about to walk up here. So as you have questions, either before school gets out this year or over the summer or we come back, she's your point of contact on dual enrollment, and she can even get in contact with the Memphis people who are going to come up here and speak to you. Okay? So Ms. Hicks.
I know we cannot communicate quick enough, so I'm going to try to make this quick, but here's what I need you guys to do. Take your phones, flip them over so they're not a distraction. Take your earbuds out. All right, we need your attention. This is so important because it's worth thousands of dollars. And while you may not appreciate that right now, I promise you your parents will appreciate this information, okay? Juniors that have already taken dual enrollment, raise your hand real quick. This year. Awesome. So this is going to be a refresh. Do not zone out because you're like, I'm already in it. Some of these things you have to do. Sophomores, Miss Patrick gave you all just nuggets of this the other day. Just a little bit. So you guys are going to have to buckle up. This is going to be a lot of new stuff for you. Okay? So real quick again, I'm Jennifer Hicks. I'm the basketball coach here. The kids call me Coach Jay. Y'all are welcome to do the same. But we're going to jump right in. This dual enrollment program, what is it? It means you get to be in high school, and if you are academically eligible, you get to take college classes. So when you graduate, not only will you have a Madison transcript, you will have a University of Memphis transcript. Two completely separate things. That means you will already have classes completed going into your actual freshman year. How many can be free? Up to 30 hours can be free. How many semesters? Anybody know how many semesters that is? Or is it even a semester? Could it be a semester? Anybody have an idea? And when you get to college, you could already have a head start by how many semesters? We don't know this stuff yet. Okay. On average, you take about 15 semester, so that's about a year's worth of classes that can be for free. All right. Now, while this opportunity is incredible, it is also a privilege that you get, and with privilege comes an opportunity comes what? Responsibility. A lot of it, and this is on you guys. This is not on me. This is not on Mr. Guthrie, Miss Lockers, Miss Patrick, or your parents. These are your responsibilities. That's why I'm saying put your phone down and take your earbuds out. Number one, we're going to get you guys applied for the grant, which will cover the tuition. But you will have course materials that you're going to be responsible for paying for. It is nothing compared to the cost of the course. Okay, the courses throughout your time as a junior and senior are thousands of dollars, up close to $6,000 at least. Okay, what I'm talking about your course materials is like an ebook or an actual book. If you take a science class, it could be lab materials. Those generally, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, they're generally between $100 and $200 per course. So go ahead and mentally know that and prepare for that now. It is nothing compared to what you are saving in the long run. Okay, that is whose responsibility? It's the student's responsibility. Mr. Guthrie's not paying for your book. I'm not paying for your book. Okay? You need to go ahead and have those conversations with your parents now. That is your responsibility. Okay? Applications, these are your responsibility. The Madison application that you have to take around and get teachers' approval, recommendations, and then get your parents to sign it. A lot of you have already turned those in. Juniors, I'm talking about. Sophomores, y'all got to get with it. I have maybe 20 of the sophomores. Okay, so sophomores, Miss Patrick handed those out. All right, it has a lot of details about the program. You need your parents' signature, your signature, and then you need to get that turned into me or turned into the counselors before summer, or you will lose your eligibility. Okay? That is a hard copy piece of paper. The other two applications, we do those online, and we are going to do those in the next couple of weeks. Okay, with each of you. Okay, we're going to pull you down in the cafeteria. I believe it's May 8th and May 9th. We'll take the rising seniors one day, rising juniors the other. We will do your Memphis dual enrollment application, and we will do it's called the TSAC grant application. Okay, one thing you do need to have for that is your social security number. If you already know yours, that's great. All right, but make sure when you come to those meetings here in the next couple of weeks, that you have your social security number or you won't be able to complete those. And I'm going to hold on questions. If you've got them, email them to me, okay? Students, another responsibility of yours is to keep your grades up. If your grades drop, let's say I'm going to sign up for College Lab, I'm going to take an online class, but I'm actually just going to sleep in there every day. I'm going to catch up on my sleep because I'm in chemistry and it's really tough. It does not work. Okay, you come in there and sleep every day and you don't do your class, you will fail it, and then guess what? You lose all opportunity to take another class again. You will lose that grant eligibility. So again, students, it is your responsibility to keep your grades up. Ms. Lisa may touch on that some more here in just a minute. Behavior. Students, you are responsible for your behavior. I think we've done an excellent job so far of our students going over to the college campus and taking classes and having responsibility with their online classes. But again, students, you all want to blend with the college kids, right? You don't want to stand out like a high school student. You want to act more mature. So make sure if you are walking across campus that you are blending in with those college students and acting even more mature than a high school student. Okay, so that's just a reminder. You're responsible for your actions and your behavior. Let's see. Okay, now students, again, here's it's a lot of information, I know. If you've signed up to take the in-person psychology or U.S. history class, that means you are physically signing out of school after third block next year, and you're going to walk across to take a class on campus. You are responsible for having transportation to leave each day after third block. If you have a question about that, email me. But that is a must. You must have transportation worked out to be able to have somewhere to go on days you don't have in-person class. For example, psychology meets Tuesday, Thursday afternoons. You need to have somewhere to go on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday after third block. If you have questions about that, email me. Students who signed up to take college lab class, that's where you come and meet in the cafeteria and you are signed up to take an online course or an in-person course. We need to get your course selected before summer. Am I saying that right, Lisa? Okay, so if you are signed up for college lab class, raise your hand. You already know. I put that on my registration. It's more than 2 of you. It's about 50 of you. Current sophomores and current juniors, if you signed up for college lab, yeah, there we go. That means you need to see me before summer. See Ms. Patrick, see Ms. Lockers before summer, and we need to know what class that you want to take before summer. If I don't hear from you, guess what I do? I pick a class for you. No, I'm just playing. But you may lose your spot in college lab. You may not be able to take it. So make sure you get with me on that. All right, let's see. If you are eligible for dual enrollment English or French, okay, we have Memphis teachers that teach for Madison. Dr. Kaufman, Coach Clark, Dr. Spires are Madison teachers, but they're also Memphis professors. So if you are eligible for dual enrollment, you don't really need to do anything. If you're eligible, I will put you on the Memphis roster, so you will be sitting in that class with Dr. Kaufman, Coach Clark, Dr. Spires, and you'll be sitting along other students who may not have eligibility, and you'll be taking the same course. And we'll talk to you more about that in the fall, but you don't need to do anything there. I think that's about all I have. I think we're finished. Ms. Lockridge, do we have numbers on psychology, U.S. history, stats? If we need more students.
We need more of you that are interested in the dual enrollment U.S. history. That's walking over here to a Memphis history professor.
So if you're interested in doing the dual enrollment U.S. history versus the AP history.
Instead of doing AP, when you take the one test, you get one shot for college credit. If you think you want to do dual enrollment U.S. history, you need to let your counselor know in the next week or so.
Next week, let them know. So we still have some spots for U.S. history. So we're close to maxed out with psychology. And statistics, we can still add some more. So if you're interested in any of those, statistics is online, the U.S. history is in person. See Ms. Lockridge or Ms. Patrick next week. Everybody got that? Everybody got it? Again, the difference in that, Coach Hicks and I have been working on the AP stuff, getting ready for these big tests that students are stressed over. You've been working all semester. The dual enrollment, it's not just one big test at the end. It's the average of how you've done all semester. And then let me also add this in there, because this has just changed this year. Let's say you're taking, who's one of my dual enrollment kids that has a decent grade in a class? You know what kind of grade you have right now? What kind of grade you got in a class right now? A 93? Perfect. So if she has a 93 right now in dual enrollment English with Memphis, she'll get a +5 for her final grade at the end of the year. So
instead of a +3.
It used to be +3 or +4. It's now +5. And that's just like AP. So that's just a little bit of the difference. If you're interested in doing that again, see Miss Lockridge or Miss Patrick next week. We're close to the weekend, so just remember to do that next week. Let me let you know where my office is. It's up on the 3rd floor behind the vending machine, around the corner from the vending machine, between vending and Miss Manley. You'll find my office. If I'm not in there and you have paperwork, slide it under my door. I have a little sheet outside my office you can put that you've been there and you need me, or you can also email me, okay? Also, one more thing, students. Look at your email. Look at your school email, because if I need something from you for Memphis, I will email you, okay? I can't pull all of you out of class all the time. A lot of you have a lot of core classes and it's end of the year. So if I need something from you before summer, I'm going to email you. So make sure that you're checking your email. All right? All right. And I'm going to turn this over to Miss Lisa. Let's give Miss Lisa a hand. Miss Lisa is our go-to across the street with Memphis. So she helps us out with all things dual enrollment. She's amazing. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. It's good to see all of you here today. We got a packed house. This is awesome. Mr. Guthrie and I talked, back in February, March. We really wanted to expand some opportunities for you. We've got some courses that we've had on a rotation, but we started talking about ways where we could actually get you onto our campus in classrooms with our students. So we've worked together, and I have some wonderful faculty here who have been more than willing to be a part of this partnership. So really excited about what we're going to be able to offer. I think it's going to be really neat for you. You heard a little bit about all the particulars about the eligibility and things, but I want to talk to you about dual enrollment, what it is. Anybody give me a definition of dual enrollment? Let's see how much you've been listening. Anybody? No. You didn't think you were going to have a quiz. Who has their hand up? Anybody? Go ahead. Come on, Lydia. Go ahead. There she is. Absolutely. Perfect answer. A dual enrollment class is different than an AP class. As Coach Hicks said, the AP class, you've got to take that one test, you've got that one shot at getting the right score to get credit. With a dual enrollment class, you're going to fulfill your requirements for high school graduation, but you're also going to get college credit. And the courses that we offer are pretty much good just about anywhere. I think the only school that I'm aware of in Tennessee that does not accept dual enrollment is Vanderbilt. Am I still right on that? Is that still correct? So Sewanee, maybe not. I think it depends on the course. But anywhere else that you're looking at, they're going to accept dual enrollment. And the courses that we have available are what we call general education courses. They're the basic courses that everybody takes at every school. So we're not going to put you in something like underwater basket weaving that you can't use anywhere, okay? But it's an opportunity, and for free, if you qualify for the grant, U of M makes up the difference in the cost that the grant doesn't cover. So you can take up to 10 classes free. That's a lot. That's 2 semesters worth of classes. So you can start out your college career as a sophomore. That's pretty amazing, right? And for free, your mom and dad, they're going to love that, trust me. Raise your hands again if you're currently taking dual enrollment classes with us. I think it's a few more than that, but everything going okay? You're almost done. The semester's almost over. Exams start next week, so congratulations on making it this far. When we register you, you're actually registered for a University of Memphis course, and we have a variety of options for taking those courses. Coach Hicks mentioned some of those. English and French are taken at Madison with Dr. Spires, Dr. Kaufman, and Mr. Clark. Coach Clark, sorry, he's coach. Then we have classes on our campus that are taught by layman faculty. And then there are online classes. So we're hoping to have more opportunities for you to have in-person classes rather than taking online classes, because it's more of the getting you ready for the college experience. So not everybody's going to take 10 classes. Don't let that scare you. I've had students who have taken 2. I've had students who have taken 1. I've had students who have taken 10. So you need to do whatever is right for you and what works with your schedule. So like I said, we've had this partnership for a few years, but we're going to expand it this year. And one of the goals that Madison has, and Mr. Guthrie, correct me if I'm wrong, is to prepare you for college academically, but also in other ways, learning the soft skills, how to deal with people in the real world. And so by trying to get you on our campus, that's going to help even more with that preparation. So while we've had this limited rotation of classes, we're expanding this year, and we're really, really excited about this. And I'm looking at my faculty members over here, and they're smiling. They're excited. Traditionally, we've had Psych 1030, which is general psych. How many of you are taking that this semester with Dr. Baker? A couple of you? Okay, great. So beginning in fall of 25, we're adding 3 new in-person courses. We are adding U.S. History 2010 and 2020. Will be taught by Dr. Michelle Coffey, and that will meet your U.S. history requirement for high school graduation. We'll do 2010 in the fall, 2020 in the spring. And then Dr. Paul Mago is going to teach political science 1030, which is American government, and he's going to do that in the fall. And then Dr. Baker will also teach psychology next spring again. So we have a few other courses such as speech, so we have speech, philosophy. I'm losing my train of thought here. Speech, philosophy. We have a statistics class, math statistics on campus. And I just am blanking out at the other ones that we have. They do it over there with them. I am just drawing a blank. But we'll let you know what those are. But if they fit with your schedule, you can also take those on our campus. And then we have some online classes that we're offering as well. So Ms. Lockridge, Coach Hicks, Ms. Patrick, they have all that information, so they know the exact classes that we've got. So, yes, we have physics. So if you have good math ACT scores or pre-SAT scores, you might can take physics with Dr. Londino, physics 1 and 2. I am not a science person, so that idea does not appeal to me at all. But for those of you that are interested in going into the science field, that's a possibility for you. Okay? So let's talk a little bit about the requirements for dual enrollment. You need to have a 19 composite on the ACT or equivalent. So if you've taken the pre-ACT, I know we've had questions about the pre-SAT and the SAT. So you have to have a 19 equivalent and then a 100 admissions index. And we calculate that by multiplying your GPA times 30 and then adding your ACT composite. As long as it's more than 100, then you're eligible for dual enrollment classes. To take English, if you want to take the full English series, which is English 1, 2, and Lit, you have to start your junior year with English 1010 because it's 3 semesters, right? For English classes, you have to have at least an 18 on the ACT English subscore to be eligible for that because we want to set you up for success. Most of our math classes, most of you would be interested in stats, which is Maths 1530. You need to have a 15 on the math subscore of the ACT. If you're interested in a higher level math, and Mr. Guthrie will talk with those of you who would be eligible for that, your ACT subscore has to be much higher than that. So he'll work with you individually on that. Okay? So those are the basic requirements. And then to keep the TSAT grant, you have to keep a 2.0. If you get below a 2.0, you're not eligible for that grant anymore. You could possibly still take classes, but you'd have to pay for them out of pocket, which is still a huge savings rather than regular tuition, but it would be at a cost to you. So when we talk about, Coach Hicks mentioned, if you decide you're going to sleep through your college lab class and catch up on your sleep, you're going to end up with an F in that class. No big deal, right? It is a very big deal because that F is a college F, and it's going to stay with you your entire college career. So whatever grade you make in your dual enrollment classes for college, that's going to stay with you on your transcripts forever. You don't want to start out college with a 0.0 GPA because it's going to be really hard to bring that up. You're going to have to repeat the class. So, and our faculty can tell you this, dual enrollment is a college level class. Even if you're in Coach Clark's English 1010, it's still a college level class, and there are higher expectations there. You're used to block schedule, so you have a lot of stuff pumped in. But with a college level class, you're going to be responsible for doing a lot of out of class reading, out of class assignments, and it's your responsibility to do that. Dr. Mago is not going to sit up there and say, remember, you need to do your homework. He's not going to do that. He's going to expect that you're going to come to class. If y'all are covering chapters 1, 2, and 3 on day 1, he's going to expect you to have read chapters 1, 2, and 3 so that you can participate in discussions. Okay? That's what makes college classes fun, because you have the information and you start discussing them and it takes it to a different level. Okay? So don't get behind. Do your homework. That's really critical to remember. I've had students who think it's going to be just like high school where they may not have to study as hard, and they get to the final exam and they are done. It's too late at that point. So don't get behind. Ask for help if you need help. That's what our faculty are there for, and your staff at Madison are there to help you as well. Okay? So those are kind of the nuts and bolts. One more thing. This is the most often asked question that I get, that Coach Hicks gets, and that Dr. Baker gets. What calendar do we follow? Because our school calendars aren't the same. Anybody guess what calendar you're going to follow? I heard Madison. Nope. You're going to follow the U of M calendar for Memphis classes. What that means is you're on fall break at Madison, but the University of Memphis is open and in session, you need to go to your University of Memphis class. Okay? If our spring breaks don't match up, same is true. Okay? So if school is closed for bad weather, there were times this year where Madison was still closed because the school system was closed, but University of Memphis was open. That means you got to come to class. If you're in an online class, you still follow the U of M schedule. So if you have assignments due during fall break, don't do like I had a student at another school. They went on fall break, they went on a cruise and came back and they had missed 3 assignments and a test and were upset because the faculty member would not open up the test again for them. Calendars out there, you get that the first day of class. So make sure that if you're taking a class, you follow the right calendar. Okay? So now to the fun part. I get to introduce you to some of the faculty that are going to be teaching you in some of these dual enrollment classes. So I'm going to start with Dr. Michelle Coffey. She is our faculty in history here.
You're so nice. I appreciate the welcome. So I am the historian on our campus. I get to teach all of the history classes that we offer. It's very odd to hear yourself right there. So I'm teaching both halves of the U.S. history class. And what I wanted to talk to you about is why I would choose to do dual enrollment rather than do the AP. So with AP, it's standardized because it has to prepare you to pass that one particular class, right? And when you have that one particular test, if you had a bad test day, that's going to affect the college credit that you get, right? With dual enrollment, you're getting the college credit all along the way. So it's a little bit more forgiving in that way. There's not just one test holding you responsible. There's the class as a whole. It's also not standardized in the same way. And the way I teach, the fun of it is that I'm really interested in what you're interested in. U.S. history, the reason I chose it is because I thought it was a really interesting way to understand the world around me. And that all of us come with a different perspective. So we're really wanting to learn about different things from U.S. history. The way the course is designed, as I teach them, we read lots of different primary documents, and you really have a lot of control over what your assignments end up being. You get to choose what the topics are and what you're going to invest in. That means you're also really controlling what we're going to talk about in class. Each class is a little bit different because different people invest in different ways. Through the years, I've added a lot of content to my class just based on the things that students have been interested in historically. So for the first half of U.S. history, we start by looking at indigenous societies and the way that they were organized before Europeans got here, and the way that European contact ends up changing those societies. We look at the development of what ultimately become the American colonies and why the colonies developed different economic systems and different social structures. And then we get into why the country was even founded, what motivated people to fight. And then once they fought, how do you come up with a new form of government? And so we spend a lot of time talking about the experiments that ultimately lead to the U.S. Constitution. That class, by the end, we're at the Civil War. And so it's also a really complex examination of why people were willing to fight to no longer be part of that Constitution, and then what the repercussions of that end up being, and the way the country changes as a result. It's a really great class in lots of ways. And I just want to add my little personal story, which is I had AP credits when I went to college. And I was really angry because I went to a school that didn't accept my AP history credits. So I had to take the U.S. survey to 1877. And I was really not happy about it because I was very convinced that I hated history. It had not been interesting in high school in any way to me. And my class was meeting at 8 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which is the worst class you could possibly take in college. Avoid that. We try to avoid teaching it. You should avoid taking it. So I was really angry. And I'm so grateful because that's where I found my life. I took that class and I never left history classes again. I eventually became a major and then decided, you know what, I'll go to graduate school. I want to be in this class for the rest of my life. And that wouldn't have happened if my school had accepted my AP credit. And that's really why I would choose it over the AP. It is different to get to take it at the college level. And it's different because you get to make it what you want it to be in a way that you really can't with AP. So I really hope you join me and then do the second half in the spring.
Thank you, Dr. Coffey. I learned something new about you today. So, next, we have Dr. Paul Mago. Dr. Mago is our political science faculty member, and he also teaches anthropology, and he is in charge of our honors program. He is a great person to get to know, especially if you want to get involved in honors. So, Dr. Mago is going to talk with you about American government.
Me? No. Decathlon? Madison? I talked to them about that once. But anyway, couple things. First of all, my name is Paul Mago, and I teach American government. And I will tell you guys that my son graduated from Madison. All right, he's graduating from MTSU this semester, so it was like 4 years ago. Somebody might remember him. I don't know if everybody else has graduated or not. But also, you guys, and I learned this from spending 4 years with my kid at Madison, you guys are the ones that I want in my class. I teach American government. If I'm not mistaken, you guys have to take an American government class. Is that correct? And if I'm not mistaken, the University of Memphis American government class that I teach over there fulfills that requirement. Is that correct? You take it with me, you don't have to take it in high school. I think that's the way it goes. Okay, you can find that out, but that would be ridiculous if you had to take both of them. Anyway, Like I said, American government, if you take it here, it should qualify for your American government requirement at Madison. Let's see. And like I said, I've had some in-class Madison students, and in one of my classes, it was a pretty small class. I guess I had 8 students in it. I had 4 Madison students, and they were the best of the 8 students. Okay? So, like I said, I want you guys in my classes. American government, I like to teach people things, help people think about things they've never thought about before in ways that they've never thought about it. You guys know anything about American government? Do you know who your House of Representatives representative is for your district? Do you know what your district is? Do you know who your senator is? Do you know how laws get passed? Any of that sort of stuff? You guys have a career that have laws that affect that career? Do you know how people make laws? American government, basic American government stuff. And actually, Dr. Coffey was talking about some American government history. I go over some American government history as well. But it really does connect together. And I think American government is one of the most important things that you can learn about. And again, my classes, when you're sitting in my class, we do a lot of class discussion. I got a lot of students that take my online classes too. I offer American government online. This semester, I think I've got somewhere about 30 online students from Memphis area. Last semester, I looked it up, I had 60 high school students taking online American government from around the University of Memphis. And that's fine, but online classes, you know, especially introductory online classes, can be, in my opinion, really kind of boring. Mine are not. And I've had some Madison students take my online classes, and I always ask them, would you take it in person if you had the opportunity? And they all say, yes, I would have taken it in person if I'd known that you actually teach it in person. So I do. Like I said, American government in the fall. Let's see. You guys were talked about books. I do have to have a textbook for my class. You can rent it. You can buy it. You can get an ebook. You can get a print copy if you want to. But you can also rent it, like I said. And you can also sell it back. So it's not that much of an expense. That's an important thing about to take the class. And I've mentioned, I put a note on there about different holidays. That's important too. You know, we meet during your spring break. My online students always have problems with that. They don't do stuff during their high school spring break. And I say, man, you got to do stuff during your high school spring break because we're not on your spring break schedule. Good? Questions? Yeah, you don't have to clap. Clap on my class. Anything else? Questions? Problems? Good. Thank you.
I guarantee you, class with Dr. Mago is not boring. Okay? So, Dr. Baker could not be here to share with you about psychology, so she asked me to share a couple of things. It's an introductory class designed to familiarize students with the discipline of psychology. You'll learn about things such as the brain and behavior, creativity, intelligence, psychological disorders, and therapies. It will count as a gen ed psych course anywhere, but there are other benefits to enrolling in the class. Learning about the many subspecialty areas of psychology. It's just not about counseling and psychotherapy. Developmental psychology, forensic psychology, neuropsychology, and sports psychology are just a few of the other subfields. Learning about the many career opportunities that you can follow in psychology at the undergrad, master's, and doctoral levels. Of course, we mentioned counseling, teaching, human resources jobs, and industrial organizational jobs, and also as an avenue to train for other areas such as law school, medical school, PT or OT school, and social work. To learn about the variety of work settings that psychology majors have available to them. It's not just the classroom or clinical settings. Research labs, business organizations, courtrooms, and sports organizations. Sports psychologists are really valued in college and pro athletics. It's a real thing. and learning what a college level course is like. You've heard a little bit about that, but you're going to be in a classroom with other U of M students, and that's going to give you some different types of discussions and opportunities to learn more about the responsibilities of being a college student and how to be successful in college. And one of the most important benefits she wanted me to share with you was that you create relationships with those who can be a resource to you as you continue to explore the discipline of psychology or whatever you're working on. So Dr. Mago, Dr. Coffey, me, any of your faculty at the University of Memphis, they're resources for you. You do really well in class, you've got a college professor to go to get a letter of recommendation. And when you're applying for scholarships and other things like that, leadership programs, that's really important. So, we covered requirements, calendars, the courses we're going to offer. Do you have questions? That's a lot of information thrown at you. And I know everybody wants to get out of here. It's Friday afternoon. I'm as ready to go home as you are, trust me. Any questions about dual enrollment? Yes.
No, it's 2 semesters instead of a year-long course. And so it's divided at Reconstruction. So it doesn't work to take one half of it as dual enrollment and then do the AP. You have to choose up front what you're going to do.
The question was, is dual enrollment history and AP history cover the same thing? AP history is one class, but the dual enrollment, you take the 2 classes to get everything in. Okay? It spreads it out a little bit.
AP is all year, so for us, AP US is all year.
Other questions? Yes.
I'm interested
Okay.
but I don't really feel like I have classes I can give up since this is
The question is, he wants to take Math 1530 stats, but there's not a class that he can give up in his schedule to fit that in. Can he take that class in addition to it? We'll work with Mr. Guthrie and Ms. Lockridge on that. So check in with Ms. Lockridge and give her that question, and then we'll research that for you. Okay? But that's a good question. I've never had that one before. Thank you. In the back. He's been doing his research, talking about U.S. history in college. If you take, in the state of Tennessee, if you take U.S. history, you have a year of it in high school, you still have to take history, 2 gen ed histories in college, but if you've had U.S. history in high school, you can pick your history. You can take international, world civ, Tennessee history, anything like that, so your options open up. But if a student has not had U.S. history in high school, in college, they have to take U.S. history for their 2 histories. Okay, does that make sense? That's a great question. Over here? You have your hand up? Okay. Questions? Okay, so on May 8th and 9th, we're going to have application days. That's the day you'll need to bring your social security number, your legal name, and don't laugh at me when I say that, but your name has to match up with whatever your legal name is. We don't want nicknames. And, of course, your date of birth. We're going to help you fill out the applications. It doesn't take long, but we'll help you fill that out. Then Ms. Lockridge and Coach Hicks will send us your transcripts and your test scores after school is out. And so we'll be processing everything early in the summer. If you think you want to take, if you're in College Lab, remember this. How many of you signed up for College Lab? Raise your hands. When do you need to have your course selection to Coach Hicks or Ms. Lockridge? Next week, very good, very good. The reason for that is if they're an online class, we've got to reserve spots in those. And if we wait until late July or early August, those spots are all going to be gone. So if you think you want to take it, you need to let them know. Okay? Any other questions? Well, thanks for coming today. I hope you enjoy your weekend. How many of you are going to prom?
Wait.
Going to prom? Have fun, enjoy it. I saw the decorations earlier. It looks great in there. So we look forward to having you as dual enrollment students.
Hey! Have a seat. You're just delaying your exit for a minute. Listen, just a couple of things. There's one thing I want to make clear because I don't know that you fully understood something. When she talked about maintaining it to 2.0, that's in your Memphis classes too. That's how you lose your grant with your Memphis classes. So if you take 3 Memphis classes, all 3 of them's GPA combined better be 2.0 or above. It's not just about the Madison classes. When she talked about the 2.0, it's your Memphis classes. And that's how you can lose your TSET grant. So be sure you make that distinction. Okay? All right. Have a good weekend.